Hi, I'm Chris David from the Swedish power metal band Majestica, and you're listening to Rhino Radio.
I'm Lotty from Rock Out Stand Out / Rhino Radio. I have Chris David from Majestica with me this evening. So, hello Chris, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine actually. Had a good day today. And it's been really nice weather in Sweden, even if it's November. But it was great today.
Yeah. So, suppose the main purpose of today's interview is to promote your upcoming album, A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've listened to it quite a few times now. It's absolutely brilliant. I really liked it. So,
awesome. Thank you.
First off, so usually when bands release an album and then it's usually about 2 years before they release the next one. So I'm guessing you guys must have worked solidly to get this out a year after your debut album Above the Sky. Given, COVID restrictions as well, that must have been, you sort of explain how it was working, particularly with COVID restrictions. I'm not sure what they were like in Sweden.
Actually, the Above the Sky record was recorded many years before it was released, so we didn't actually, it was actually recorded, or my part, the bass was recorded 5 years ago for Above the Sky. Right. But anyway, we didn't start with A Christmas Carol until really, really late, actually, like in May.
Really?
Yeah, because to plan to make Above the Sky 2, actually, basically. So we wrote original, demos and stuff. But then somehow we got sidetracked and we got this idea about making a Christmas record, and then it kind of evolved to be a Christmas musical, and then it evolved to be a Christmas Carol. And that was in May, and I mean it's not even 6 months since May now, is it? Or something like that.
I was actually going to ask, is it May? You mean May this year?
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's impressive to get an album out that really quickly. You must have worked solidly on it.
Yeah, we did. And so we discussed and we came up with this brilliant idea. And then Tommy, he figured out it was going to be about the Christmas Carol. So he, I'm going to make you a demo so you can hear what I mean. And yeah, sure. And he did one. And then it was awesome. So we said, let's go with this. And then it took, a few weeks. Then we had a few more songs. And I was, sitting at my work. I'm working as a music teacher. And I was, playing different melodies. And I had one that's this sounds like Christmas. I recorded it, sent it to Tommy. So he kind of, yeah, that's good. He started writing, and I was still, at school working, and he was writing the music at home.
Yeah. Oh, that's so brilliant. Yeah, I was actually going to ask as well, because of course Tommy's also in the band Sabaton. I was sort of thinking, how are they going to arrange all those recordings? Well, of course, they had to cancel their tour this year because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And so that kind of made a lot of, free time somehow. And in Sweden, there has not really been so many restrictions. It's more like recommendations, but we have restrictions on, concerts and stuff, but to be with other people, there's not really any restrictions. And I live far out in the woods, so where I am, it's like every day, almost. There is signs in the store don't be too close to each other. That's about it. And so the album was recorded here, so everyone went here, and we rented a house out here, and we stayed there for I think we were there for 10 days, working from 11 in the morning to 5 in the morning the next day. Went up.
Oh, blimey.
And we did that for 10 days, and it was a bit stressful, and so it was still tight with the time. So I was recording, because we recorded it ourselves. So I recorded the drums and stuff. And so Tommy was working on the vocal parts next in another room, and I was working with the drummer to sort that out, and we did it. We had to work in shifts to make it work.
Oh gosh, yeah. And yeah, so speaking of the voices, so Because there's different voices for the different characters. So of course Tommy is Scrooge. Am I right in thinking you're because I think I read on one of your the Facebook posts that you provide the voice of Jacob Marley the Ghost.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Did you already have in mind what voices or what characters you guys were going to play? Like, or did you? Was it a case of just playing around and seeing who worked with who?
And some of it was planned, and some of it was not planned, because there was supposed to be someone else at one point that we couldn't bring in, so we had to find someone. And then the Ghost of Marley thing was planned from the beginning. Like, it was going to be a duet between me and Tommy, because on live I do a lot of backings for Tommy, and I also we do some split vocals on, for example, Rising Tide, which is actually two different voices on the song From Above the Sky. So it was kind of natural to have me doing something more. But then when we were in the studio, we came up with all these ideas that the other guys is going to be different voices as well.
Ah, okay. And am I right in thinking that the parts, like, for example, in The Ghost of Christmas Past, the Come and Take My Robe, those choiry voices, is that all of you?
Yeah, that's right. We called ourselves the Majestic Choir.
Love it.
Yeah, and that was really cool because we had the opportunity in this house on the top floor. It was this really, really big room with a high ceiling and all that stuff. And it looked like a church basically inside. So we could record the four of us, and we could record the actual sound in the room. So it was, mic'd in many ways to make it sound as huge as it does on the album. So it's pretty cool.
That's so that explain the big sounds. That sounds so awesome, and like it's probably added to the Christmas feel as well, the being in the church.
No, it was not an actual church. It just looked like a church, and I had a big red light, so it was like all red in there and stuff.
So a lot of the songs on there. So there's a lot of them have tunes of actual Christmas carols to the actual songs, and of course there's some original ones on there. So when it came, was it an idea at the beginning thinking maybe we could have tunes of Christmas carols on there, or was it added on later in the process where you think actually this worked?
No, that was actually the first idea. That was the idea we had from the beginning. Like, why have no one else done, original music with different melodies, like Christmas melodies. And then the whole idea about the musical and Christmas Carol came about. So that was the first idea. Like, let's write our own music and add the Christmas feeling to it instead of like doing someone else's Christmas music and try to add our touch. So we were like, let's do it the other way around, basically. So that was the first idea and the beginning of it all.
Mm-hmm. And when it came to deciding what tunes from Christmas carols you're going to put to which of the Majestica songs, so like Hark the Herald Angels for the Ghost of Christmas Past, did you already have in mind what Christmas carols were going to go with which songs, or was it a case of just playing it around with it, seeing what worked with the lyrics?
No, I think because what I did, I'm mostly, I'm just doing more of the melody stuff. So I'm sending more like melodies to Tommy, and he kind of arrange everything around it. But then, so some of the songs, he did all the music, and when he did that, it depended, like, he had a plan for the melodies as well, to which one's gonna suit with this kind of key and all that stuff, the music key we are playing in. So he had in mind everything from the beginning, actually.
Okay, cool. And is this the Christmas Carol thing? Is it something, once we get out of lockdown and we're able to, and you guys are able to perform on stage again and things like that, is it something you'd maybe consider turning into like a actual stage show or a film like Nightwish did with Imaginarium?
Absolutely, actually. I think that's what we would like to do even this year, but it's not possible. So there's going to be videos coming up sooner or later, before Christmas, this year at least. That's going to be more theatrical videos where we actually play the characters where we sing. So I'm gonna be the Ghost of Molly in this kind of videos and all that stuff. So there will be something theatrical and musical coming out that is, you know, good to the album as well.
Oh, so because Sweden haven't had many kind of restrictions, just recommendations. So how have you been keeping busy, you know, particularly because you haven't been allowed to perform live on stage and things like that?
Wow, we did the Christmas records. For me, that's been a lot of busy. But I have my other work as a teacher where I'm teaching as a music school. So I do that usually in weekdays.
Okay.
And then we did a live stream in May where we actually launched our merchandise because we didn't sell any merchandise before May this year. And at that live stream, we got, I don't know, a couple of hundreds of orders. And I was the one sending them all out. So the first month afterwards, I was sending merch every day because it was all signed. And it was like, because at the live stream, we did this thing they could order and we would write their name and sign it live on the stream.
Oh.
So I had to keep track of all these 200 different shirts or whatever it was, you know, to like, okay, who is this for? And then I had to look through all of it for every order. So it took a lot of time to get them out.
Absolutely. Well, no. And quite a notable thing about COVID lockdown, I think, is people's mental health people's mental health not being brilliant, of whether that's lack of social interaction or not being able to, you know, living with people that they really don't get on with. So at Rock Out Stand Up, mental health awareness is important to us. So is there anything you do if you feel overwhelmed, stressed, just really upset at all? So is there anything you do that helps you keep grounded and positive?
This is a good question because I was actually, you know, I was kind of burnt out last year. So I was gone basically for 6 months. At that time, I had to figure out ways to, you know, stay positive. Mm-hmm. And one of them is actually like going on a mountain bike in the woods. Because when I do that, I need to focus because it's, you know, small roads or small everything, and there's woods and stones and everything all over the place. So I need to keep track on that. So I can't actually think about anything else than focusing on where I'm riding. And that kind of loses all my thoughts about, you know, stress or negative or whatever it could be. So that's one thing I try to do as often as I can. And then I also, you know, just sit next to the fireplace at home sometimes if I'm very stressed, like to just calm down a bit.
Yeah, and just thought of a question to ask. What's mental health awareness generally like in Sweden? I mean, over here in the UK, we're basically just starting to scratch the surface and actually starting to talk about it. So there's TV adverts to say it's okay not to be okay, that sort of thing. So just wondering what it's like in Sweden.
I don't think it's like, you know, you don't really want to talk about it, but there's a lot of people. It's actually a lot of people who has, you know, mental problems and kind of get burnt out and they are home for a long time and all that. And it's, I don't know. It's just like, I think everyone knows at least someone who has been home or is home all the time. You know, basically everyone is getting to that point because it's a very stressful environment, I think, in general today. And I guess that's the same over the whole world with all the internet and whatever it is. But you still don't really talk about it in media. It's still like a very bad thing that no one wants to kind of address, you know?
I I do agree. There does seem to be that stigma. So what do you think we need to do more of so people feel happy to talk about their mental health?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't really know. I think somehow you first of all need to make it like it's a proper thing. Like it's, you know, that it is okay to feel bad basically. Because I think that's the problem in Sweden. It's not even okay to feel sick at all in any kind of way. But then when it's mental health, it's kind of embarrassing as well. So you kind of need to get to the point where it's not embarrassing. And and I just guess that somehow the people need to be less stressed and kind of don't think too much about the internet and all the social medias and shopping and whatever it is, you know. Because I guess that's a big problem, actually.
So I've just got I've got a few, because I've told a few of my friends I'd be interviewing Majestica today. So one of the questions, and I quite agree with this one as well, is what's the secret to your, because you all seem to have very luscious, gorgeous hair. You seem to. And also, actually, want to know the secret to your beard as well. So what's the secret to your hair and beard?
Oh, yeah. So my beard there's no secret. The only secret is I don't use any kind of oil or anything like that people tell you to do.
Really?
It's regular shampoo, nothing else.
No way. And is that same with can it be the same with the hair as well? Just.
Yeah, actually. I do. Well, of course I do this. I have conditioner, I have shampoo, and then some. I'm very bad at this. I know Tommy, he's much more into the, you know, the masks and, you know, hair masks and all that stuff. But I'm really bad with it. But we usually have a lot of dry shampoo with us, whatever we do. So like in the studio when we recorded the album, for example, there was like, my girlfriend did come by. And I think we had, you know, 10 bottles of dry shampoo standing all over the place in like different rooms. So we were like spraying it as we did record, you know, we use a lot of dry shampoo.
Yeah. Dry shampoo is really, really good actually, because particularly at festivals when, you know, you're in a tent for a whole weekend with no showers, and dry shampoo's good with keeping it refreshed. So I can agree with that.
You can have the volume style, so it helps you get a bigger hair.
Maybe because what you could put, there's an 80s song on your Above the Sky album, well, an 80s style, the Night Cool Girl. Maybe you could use all the hairspray in that as well and do an 80s video.
We could, yeah. Otherwise, it's not that many secrets really. I don't use hair dryers or anything.
Neither do I. I don't use a hair dryer.
No, because I don't know if I just think it's kind of destroys the hair somehow.
I've heard that. So another one person wanted to know if you have any favourite bands at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Lately, I've been listening a lot to Joe Bonamassa. He has a band with Glenn Hughes that's called Black Country Communion. And he released a new record maybe the same day, actually, as we released the first single, It Goes to Christmas Past. It's a bit more rock than his earlier albums, and it's recorded at Abbey Road. So it's a really cool album. I've been listening a lot to that lately.
Obviously, it's fate. It's fate that you guys released this stuff on the same day. It's fate.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last week it's been Rob Zombie, because I thought his new single last week was awesome. So it's been Rob Zombie all week basically.
and with Halloween as well, so it's absolutely perfect timing. Somebody, so you said you're about Above the Sky too. So does that mean there's going to be a third studio album?
Yeah, but I think this one is going to take longer than it did between these two.
Yeah,
so I think it's pretty far in the distance now, because we kind of got sidetracked with this and we haven't done anything more basically on that style of album.
Yeah, and the songs from your Christmas album, is that when you guys eventually go back on tour? So when you guys perform on stage again, so will the Christmas songs be part of the set list all year round or just at Christmas?
I've been thinking about that and I don't really know yet. Because I was thinking, the songs are great, and I would say this, that even if you don't like Christmas, I think it's still a great power metal album. So I'm pretty sure that people who don't really care about the Christmas music style, they're going to like it anyway as a power metal album.
That's very true.
So I thought that maybe it's a good thing to, play the songs later on as well. But it's going to be, feel pretty stupid if you play in a festival in the summer and like, hey, let's celebrate Christmas now, and let's start play Christmas songs, and it's the summertime. And if you are like from a country like Sweden where it's like winter all year long, summer is, you don't want to hear Christmas music in summertime. So I don't know really. Maybe in the spring, but not in the summer.
That's very true. Imagine you guys dress up in the Christmas gear as well in like summertime. That'd be quite amusing. Last but not least, do you have anything to say to like a message for Majestica fans?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, as I said, I think even if you are not a Majestica fan, I would say that if you don't like Christmas music and you kind of get scared about this is a Christmas album, I think it's very important to know it's also a good power metal album. So I think you should check it out anyway. And for the the regular fans, I really hope we get the chance to come out on the road very soon, and also to actually play the Christmas show that we wanted to play this year, but it's not possible. So I hope we can do it next year, but who knows? We will see, but I hope so.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for taking time out of your evening to chat to us today. Good luck with the new album and have a good evening.